Okay, it's the 21st of, excuse the noise in the air, there's always an airplane. 21st of April, and just time to have a little look and a think about the vegetable garden.
I'd like to show you what we've been doing. This season's vegetables actually started at the end of last season. So we put in garlic and onions in October and November at the end of last year. They've grown very slowly through the winter. And also these broad beans, these were sown in November. And they are very small plants with the snow and ice on them, but they're hardy. And it gives them a head start in the spring, and this spring particularly when it's very dry. I'm glad we've done that because their roots are now down where there's still some moisture. So over here we've got onion sets, the furthest row there. They were the overwintering onion sets, and these were from seed, overwintering onion. You have to have the right variety of onion seed. And then these are garlic and shallots. Now these are all of these onion family, the garlic and the onions and shallots, are all growing in the area that I grew potatoes in last year. It's very important to rotate your vegetables onto clean ground each year. Now the potatoes had a lot of manure and leaf mould and compost put in the ground, and these onion family are benefiting from the residues left from that and the water holding capacity. Now then we come on to the spring planted. These are spring planted onion sets and shallots.
Can you just remind us of the difference between sets and seeds and shallots?
The sets are like a little bulb. They're grown commercially. They grow them from seed and then they heat treat them to stop them, and then we plant them, and they shouldn't bolt. If we did that ourselves, if we grew onions from seed last year and had little bulbs and then planted them, they would just go straight to flower, but the special heat treatment that they do prevents the flower formation, so you actually get a bulb. Because normally an onion is a biennial, and it would grow one year, make a bulb, and then it would flower the next spring. Perhaps go through next to the potatoes, Steve. So the potatoes are going to be in this area this year. I concentrate as much of the best manure and compost and leaf mould into the potato trenches. They need a lot of feeding, they need a lot of moisture, we've got a dry soil. And they don't mind having quite coarse material put in. It doesn't have to be very well rocky.
There's a few coming up here.
You know, I earthed them up yesterday. Yep. This is the early potato, Red Duke of York. There's a purplish tinge to it. So we've got 3 rows of earlies, and then the other rows which haven't been earthed up yet. Our main crop varieties, they're a little bit slower coming up, but as soon as they come up I earth them over, cover them over in case we get a late frost, because the potato leaf is frost sensitive and it will kill the leaf. Anything that's above ground will get killed. So to protect those new growths we keep them earthed up, and it also encourages the formation of lots of tumours on the stems.
What do you think the chances of frost are from now on, April the 21st?
It doesn't feel like we're going to have frost, but this last section here we'll carry on. We've got a few more potatoes to put in. There was the last few bits of carrots that didn't get harvested, but they might be alright, but they might be a bit woody by now. So as you can see, this was onions and carrots last year. It's going to be potatoes this year. And then coming through to here, Steve, this is some seed that I've just put in yesterday. So now we've got some parsnips and a row of lettuce in the middle. Parsnips make quite a big leaf, they need a wide spaced row. So I've got 2 rows of parsnips and a little row of lettuce in the middle, which will be out of the way by the time the parsnips get big. And then in this bed...
So you're getting lettuce and parsnips out of the same piece of ground?
The lettuce is a quick crop, and that will actually benefit from a little bit of shade anyway. And then in this bed I've got carrots. We have a bad problem with carrot root fly in this area, so it's a carrot root fly resistant variety.
Resistor fly, F1 hybrid.
Apparently these...
So thank you to the scientists and technologists.
They're lacking some
plant breeders who gave us
chemical.
these, yeah.
They're lacking some natural chemical in the carrot, which the carrot root fly needs, so they don't prosper on this variety, and this fly away also. So yeah, we're nearly all planted up. Just behind you I've put in a bed of French beans. I put dwarf French beans in first. They're a variety called Sprite. They'll be ready in about 10 weeks. And the small broad beans there, those are the spring sown ones. Just to compare with the autumn sown ones over there, which are already in flower. These are way behind, but they'll give us a bit of a succession. Some parts of the country people would be sowing broad beans now, but we have a very bad problem with black fly on the broad beans. It gets worse as the season progresses, so I don't tend to put any more in. With the flowering ones over here, you'll see I've taken all the tops off. Cut the tops off. I don't know if you can see there's a few ants running. The ants put the black fly, oh yes, here's one I didn't do. That's the soft growing tip. Now I take that right out because the ants will put the black fly in the soft, most delicate part.
This
if you
is
take
an idea
that off,
we got in John Seymour, didn't we?
Yeah.
Described this in his
an
great
old
book
one.
on self-sufficiency.
It also will concentrate, the beans are now going to stop growing and they're going to really concentrate on making beans on the flowers that they've got. And if you can let them grow taller, you'd get more beans, but we're not going to do that here because of the black fly. And people say, oh, the ladybirds eat the black fly, and they do, and there are some ladybirds on here, but the ants fiercely protect the black fly, which are like, they harvest the honeydew from the black fly, and they will chase the ladybirds away, so it's a real problem.
But we don't spray, we do spray the apples, don't we? But we don't spray any of the vegetables.
The only vegetable I spray, I put a copper fungicide on the potatoes because we tend to be a bad blight area because of high humidity here. Even when the soil is very dry.
It's a fungal disease, isn't it, blight?
Yeah, and it can destroy it. But I'm also growing blight-resistant varieties. I experiment with different varieties each year, and I'm finding some which do much better for our conditions. So they don't need so much spray. But I don't use insecticide in the vegetable area at all. Just a plain copper on the potatoes in their growing season. Okay,
well that's the 21st of April update from the vegetable garden for anyone who's interested. And thanks to all those, if you're watching this and you're a plant breeder, then I'd love to buy you a drink. We'll have a look in another month and see what's going on here.